am Sal, and you're watching Sal Says What, here on LittleHouseOnline.com's YouTube channel. Now look, we're not at Funny Books, Comics, and stuff. I've talked about that before. You can watch tomorrow's episode of Back Issues, which will be appearing on this channel on Thursday. That takes place in Funny Books. It's got me, Ben, Ethan. We just go down into the catacombs of comic book continuity, and it's a lot of fun. Hope you enjoy it. But today, on Sal Says What, we're going to talk about the first 3 issues of the Serenity comic series from Dark Horse Comics, the mini called Leaves on the Wind, written by Zach Whedon and art by George Janty. Now, if you read one of my articles that I wrote about the first issue, I spoke pretty highly of it being a direct sequel to the Firefly Serenity movie. All the miniseries that have had the Serenity label on them took place before the movie, because I feel like the movie kind of went to a dark place. It's a lot less joyful, it's a lot less fun, and it, no spoilers here, killed 2 main characters that you kind of wanted to see more story from. So it's interesting that they waited until now to finally give you a direct sequel to that movie. I think it may also coincide with the fact that Dark Horse is losing the Star Wars license, so maybe they're looking to kind of build up their space opera properties a little bit more. Now, the title was not without its faults, but I feel like it was a pretty solid entry into the post-Big Damn Movie continuity. Although I did kind of have to ignore the inconsistent art. So the question becomes, now that we're in 3 issues deep, does the book hold up? Is it a good companion to the movie? Kind of complicated, so let's do one thing at a time. First of all, the writing is fair. It's interesting because there were 2 authors who worked on the Firefly TV series who also have comic book writing experience, Ben Edlund and Jane Epinson, and so it's odd that they have never been tapped, never in the history of Serenity being adapted as a comic book series, to write any of that. Instead, we get Zach Whedon, who's never written an episode of Firefly, never worked on the movie, but his last name is Whedon, so I guess that works. Now, on the art side, it's a real mistake for Janty to try and approximate the actors' faces. It just doesn't work. Janty's strengths lie in his originality. When he creates new characters, they look great. His ship work, his backgrounds, his machinery, his sets, planets, all that stuff, it's really, really tight. It's only when he's trying to show us the difference between the Inara character and the Kaylee character and the River character that they kind of become interchangeable, and that's really kind of lousy. You need to just kind of own it, or you need to kind of try to capture the essence of the character, just the spirit of the character. This is why Jane appears, I think, in his hat, because this way we know that it's Jane because he's wearing the Jane hat, obviously. It's not because he looks like Adam Baldwin, because he kind of doesn't. Furthermore, some of the poses, the action poses in the book, are, I want to say, borrowed. They look like they came from other sources, and it gives the book a very stiff, lifeless quality to it. The question for me becomes, should they even bother with more Serenity continuations? Do we need mini after mini exploring this very, very sad rinky-dink boat with these very, very lonely, miserable characters? Despite Joss Whedon's best efforts, Firefly is at its best when it's hopeful and fun. It's only when Whedon leaves his mark that things kind of get depressing and dark and bitter and miserable. For me, the avatar for the whole series is the Malcolm Reynolds character. When people like Fillion and Minir and Edlund play with that character, he's a guy who went through some shit, but then found his zen. But as soon as Whedon gets a hold of him, he's a bitter, angry man who lost everything. Guess which version of Mal we get in this and every miniseries and movie? So if you're in any way curious about what happened to the crew post-movie, I'd say you might want to wait for the trade or read the Wikipedia article. Also, the book kind of heavily relies on references from the movie and the series, and it's not going out of its way to just tell a fun, raucous space piracy adventure. This is the kind of thing that I look for in my space epics. It's just fun to be in a spaceship, and you need to embrace that. This doesn't always have to be a major drag. Anyway, I wish that I could really talk highly about this book, but it's just kind of empty for me at this point. I mean, I'm kind of on the fence about whether we should even be seeing more Serenity stuff at this point. I mean, the movie came out in 2005, it's almost 10 years old. I think it might be time to just put the series to bed, let it go, let them fly off into the sunset in a blaze of glory, just let them go, I think. I have a very similar feeling to Star Wars. I feel like the movies, you know, they're something very special and they mean a lot to me, but I just can't get into it anymore. Anyway, sorry to Whedon it up and bring bring the show down, but I want to thank you all for watching. And the question for you guys is this: what long-dead franchise would you like to see resurrected as a comic book series? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll share my opinion with you. I'm excited to talk about it because I have an answer, and it has nothing to do with what we just talked about. You can always click the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more of this stuff, stop by littlehouseonline.com and funnyrama.com to learn more about the comic book store that we are in, Funny Books, Comics, and Stuff in Lake Hiawatha, New Jersey. And stay tuned tomorrow for an all-new back issues. It's really going to be fun. I hope you really enjoy it. And of course, click over here to see the last episode of this program. See you next time.